Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Seagull Team 6 devlog. This is the first devlog in a couple weeks as I've been traveling and taking some time off from work before I start grad school later in August. In the meantime though, I've made a ton of progress in my game and I can't wait to show it all off to you. I've actually started working on Seagull Team 6 full time just for the next few weeks before I start grad school, so I'm hoping to really make continued good progress and hopefully get something out there that people can play before too long. One of the first things I did once I got back from vacation was actually take some time to write down all of the remaining to-dos and ideas that I had for Seagull Team 6. I used Bear, which is one of my favorite note-taking apps, and I figured it probably wouldn't be that much and I wouldn't really need to have a Trello board. That was incorrect, as it turns out, because there were just so many ideas and things I wanted to list down, even if they would never make it into the game. So in retrospect, should have done a Trello board, which is what I've done for every single major project I've ever worked on. I think this whole time I've been fooling myself that Seagull Team 6 was not a major project, which turns out also incorrect. But it's good just to have all these things here that I want to add to the game, or at least have ideas for, and to have it all in writing, and that they'll hopefully, at least most of them, one day make it into the game. I still need to kind of separate out the things that are really necessary for this first initial release that I want to do, and what might be able to be a later update to the game, but it's good to have everything that I need now written down on paper, or at least virtual paper. The next thing I added was a hit flash whenever enemies or the player gets hit. Again, small change, but it really adds a lot to the game, and you can actually get some feedback when you hit something. With that too, when the player gets hit, they're invulnerable for, I think, about a second, so it makes it so that you can't just take a ton of damage right away. The next big change I made was actually adding a loading screen to my game, where in the background it would load in all of the assets, the audio, everything that was necessary for the game to run, and I also changed totally how encounters were being loaded in the game. I added this new function here that will actually load in encounters right from the file themselves, so I don't have to drag them into the editor anymore. I just have to create them and they'll just be loaded by default. And I code in the file name for each encounter, in the scene name, the difficulty level. And so I've added handling to encounters to take all of these loaded in encounters that I create at the beginning, and then to randomly pick a fair amount of them each level. And it will randomly pick multiple lower difficulty encounters to kind of mix it up a little bit. It will add lots of encounters of the current difficulty level, etc. So it does a lot of stuff under the hood to create dynamic and unique encounter mixes every single time you play the game. But the best part is because it's just loaded in right when the game starts in this function that I have here, I don't have to do any manual managing of that. I just create the encounter scene and it just works and gets added to the game at the correct difficulty level. Once I had the loading screen, I figured it was probably time to just go ahead and add a main menu to my game. So now if you run it, I can pull this up here and you'll see that I've got a loading screen, and that eventually turns into a main menu here with a couple different placeholder buttons right now. I've got a few of them hooked up, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. But the template for a main menu is here, and once I have a logo for the game and some other options here, the ability to see stats, reset your save data, etc., it'll all be here, and so I just need to add it in. So I'm really excited to actually have a proper main menu now, and if I hit play, it'll just throw me right into the game at difficulty 1. When I was talking about the loading screen, I also mentioned audio, and that's another really exciting thing that I've added to the game recently. I was getting tired of just playing it and not getting any audio feedback about when enemies or the player were hit or just like clicking buttons, and so I wanted to take some time to add that into the game. And I tried at first trying to keep all of my audio specific to the scene that it's in, but I ran into the problem where when I had buttons that would click things and change scenes, a lot of times the sounds would get cut short or not play at all if that button was freed up because the scene changed. And so I had to settle eventually on having a global singleton that would handle some of the audio in my game, especially backgrounds, and would handle fading between different music or background music when it changed, and things that just needed to persist between scenes like button clicks that you see here. So now I've got hit sound effects and firing sound effects for all enemies in the player, and I've got background music for both the main menu and levels that you get into. Currently it's all placeholder, it may or may not change, but it's at least there and it adds a ton to the feel of the game. And so I'll run the game right now and just have the audio playing so you can hear what it sounds like. And so there you have it. Those are all the different fire animations and UI sounds and background music I've added to the game. I'm keeping the credits page open right here just to show which ones I'm currently using. So for the main menu theme playing right now, it's just a track I found called Determination, and then this other one called Eric's Beat from Patrick de Arteaga. So if you want to check those out, feel free to get them or follow the links there. I know I still need to add hit sounds for both the player and enemies when they actually get hit. I have those picked out, I think. I just need to actually get them in the game. But it's really good to actually have sound and music in the game, and it makes it a lot more fun to play. It actually feels like you're doing something and you can get feedback. There's still some changes I want to make. I have this cool idea, I think, to add like a high power laser like turning on when the sniper starts to sight in on you. So I think small changes like that would be really cool, but it's a good start. And even if I end up swapping some of this out later, it's good to actually have it in the game. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, I'd love to hear it in the comments below. This next week, I'm hoping to start working on persisting score and making sure that that's saved in your stats, and then also adding some saving and loading so that your progress can persist across playthroughs even when you close the app. So anyway, guys, thanks so much. If you like these videos or want to keep following along with development progress, I'd love if you subscribe to the channel, and would love to have you in our Discord channel or server that we have for the community. So link to that is in the description, and otherwise I'll see you in the next video.